Hi, and thank you for joining the Real Estate Minute here at Duke Warner Realty. My name is Fred Johnson. I'm your host. One of the things I'd like to talk about today is agency disclosure form. Each and every one of you that may be doing real estate will see this form along with the state 3-page pamphlet that goes along with it. And I can assure you that if you try to read it, attorneys have worked a number of hours trying to figure out ways to make it as uncomfortable as possible. The agency relationship form was basically established so that you, the customer, understood whom was representing whom. Previously, because the real estate commission is generated from the listing party, the selling party, the buyer doesn't have to participate in paying the fee for the agent. So there was a misunderstanding that maybe the agent wasn't representing the buyer exclusively when they were pursuing the property of their dreams. And so what the state of Oregon has done is made it mandatory that everybody, both buyer and seller, participate in an agency relationship form as well as review the state pamphlet. And what I'd like to do is just sort of explain the purpose and the reason for that. And that is simply that there's a real estate commission. A lot of folks believe that real estate agents are getting rich and that they're getting the entire commission, when in fact, each commission, if you will, is split into 4 pieces. So the agency relationship is that there's generally an agent that represents the buyer and an agent that represents the seller. And they are generally employed by 2 different brokerages or 2 different offices. And so what that would mean that is, in a perfect world, the real estate fee would be split between the listing office as well as the sales office, and then in-house they would split between the agent and the office itself. The other issues that come forward in that as we start to move forward is there may be a time where the listing agent would be employed at the same office as the agent that's representing the buyer. So thereby the office or the management of the office would basically be representing both the buyer's agent as well as the seller's agent. That's fine, and that's certainly allowable in the state of Oregon. And the third scenario would be where what we call dual agency, whereby the buyer and seller are both represented by the same agent and by the same brokerage. It's perfectly allowable as long as there's full disclosure, but in any one of these scenarios, the disclosure component becomes very important, and that's the reason for the agency relationship form. It really has no bearing on the transaction. It has no bearing on how the fees are structured. And I know, like each and every one of us, my dad told me never to sign anything unless I read it and understood it. And I can assure you that you can read this form numerous times and not understand it when you get to the bottom of the form. So if you have any questions about the agency relationship form, don't hesitate to ask your broker, and your broker should be able to explain that to you. Let me just share with you one time, if I may, just one scenario, just so that you can understand that real estate agents are working very, very hard for you out there. If you were to take a $200,000 home and it had a 5% fee, then basically what that would mean is that there would be a total of a $10,000 real estate commission. That $10,000 real estate commission would then be split 50-50 between the 2 real estate offices, which means that there would be $5,000 apiece going to those 2 offices. And then it would be split again with the agent that actually represented you or represented the seller with the office, which would mean that $2,500 would go to the office for keeping the lights on and the secretary and all of those things. And then $2,500 goes to the agent, which they not only pay their business expenses, but they also pay their taxes and the fees and the things that are associated with them being in business. So as you can see, there is a perception that real estate agents make an awful lot of money because all we see on the closing statement is the gross figure, but there's an awful lot of associated fees that go along with that. Thank you so much for tuning in today to the Real Estate Minute. I'm Fred Johnson with Duke Warner Realty right here in Bend. You can always contact us at dukewarner.com, or you can call us here at the office at 541-382-8262. Thanks again for tuning in to the Real Estate Minute.